Never made it as a wise man. Couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. Tired of living like a blind man. I'm sick of sound without a sense of feeling. And this is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me.
Amazing.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever played that. That's beautiful. I love it.
Good surprise.
Yeah, Nickelback's great.
One of the few app developers in the country who can sing like that.
Yeah. We were going to do Teenage Dirtbag. That was my suggestion as well. Get something with
But
dirt
if
in
that
there.
was a suggestion, you would have had to have done
I know,
it, right?
exactly.
That's the thing about it. Matthew did a great job
Amazing
of it, man,
job.
to open up the
Appreciate
show.
it,
Thank you very much, guys. Welcome to the Construction Life.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot for having us.
I'm excited
Appreciate
about
it.
having you guys on the show. So I guess there's like the construction side, and then there's the technical side, or what do you guys? What's
There's
the
a
official-
hard line down the middle.
Is there a hard line? Do
There's
you
a,
guys
like,
ever
very
venture off to
little-
this side? You guys ever get into the dirt?
Oh yeah, I've learned more about dirt in the last 2 years that I ever wanted to know for sure. And I'm sure Mike, I won't speak for him, but like, he's probably surprised how much he knows about app development now for sure.
Was this like the
Matt,
first
from
one?
Myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other world, eh?
100%. My career thus far, I've been boots on the ground. This is a whole new learning experience. The tech world is totally different. It's been amazing though. It's a big eye opener.
You got a group of guys that are like up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to work, and then the tech guys get into the office at
What
like
time do you
10
guys wake up?
10 a.m.
I thought you guys stay up all night working on this stuff.
Tech, they do for sure.
That's
sure.
what I mean. You guys
It's
are
just a
rolling
more
in when they're rolling out.
But it
That's
is
the problem.
It's morning
That's
people
what's
and
hard
then
in
night
these
people.
two industries. 100%.
So you get texts in the middle of the night, and then you're sending texts early in the
Weekends,
morning,
yeah.
and nobody's communicating at
These
that point.
guys,
100%.
It's literally
They want
it's
to go
like-
into a deep session at 10 o'clock at night and go, my brain's fried. I'm done.
Done.
Tapping out, man. I was
Tapping out, man. Done. I know
Just
it. I
my
totally
brain just got
understand
started at that time.
Yeah, I mean it's good. We're not all over specialized or anything in one area. Like I think it's pretty awesome actually. Like when do you really see that much diversity in a company? It's pretty cool.
It's very rare to see it at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't see it all the time. I want to figure out. We're going to talk about an app, and you guys called it Phil.
Yep.
Get Phil. Is it Get Phil or Phil?
Just Phil.
Phil, right?
Yep.
And so, first off, why the name Phil? Well, obviously, the reason.
It started around excess fill, right? So
F-I-L-L.
excess fill, soil, yeah, FILL.
Yeah.
And then the idea was here, design, creative content. Pastor Bryan, he came up with the name Phil.
Yeah, it was just like we've been talking about our target user, like they're used to having a guy. So, I've got
That's
a bunch of dirt
construction.
that needs to move. Call my guy,
Yeah.
whoever it is. And we're like, we're going to make a new guy to replace their old guy because they like dealing with a person. We'll make it about a person.
I don't even know if there's
named Phil.
I don't know if Phil in construction, like a person Phil.
Yeah,
You guys are the first Phil
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
now in construction.
that's right.
yeah.
But I personally don't. I'm sure there's some Phils out there. There's got to be some Phils in construction.
And part of it is like we wanted it to have a sense of humor, right?
Totally.
Like any other tech construction companies that we've seen, they kind of take themselves
I'm still smelling
a
this.
bit. Yeah, that's Phil. They kind of take themselves a bit too seriously, like enterprise software. And we
Yeah.
were like, it needs to be fun, it needs to be simple, and a kind of a little bit lighthearted, right? Because people don't want apps in this industry, so that's a huge.
Unless it's on a
design
2x4 or
challenge.
something like that, and you can
They
kind
don't want 'em.
of touch screen 2x4. That's
Yeah.
basically the extent of what we want. You know how it is, right?
100%.
Totally how it is.
As a
right?
designer, this is like a huge challenge. Is like, how do you design apps for people who are not used to using apps and usually like straight up don't want apps, right? So it has to be
That's the
so
truth.
overwhelmingly easy and valuable. So it's a huge design challenge.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I haven't even introduced any of you gentlemen. So I'm really sorry about this. So, you guys want to introduce yourselves to everybody
no.
that's listening?
No, 100%. So my name's Mike Rice, one of the three co-founders here with Matt and Bryan.
You started the ball rolling.
So
Technically,
I did,
or no?
yeah, well, yeah, from an idea standpoint for sure. And then how the three of us came together was Bryan and I have known each other for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And in fact, now we're brother-in-laws.
Somebody
So-
married and somebody. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He married my sister.
Got it.
That's right. That's right.
It's very
So-
funny because we incorporated before they were married.
So you guys
Very
got married
funny.
before that.
We
okay.
truly got married before
Yeah.
he he married my sister.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So how we got rolling on this idea was Bryan actually. It's kind of a funny story. Bryan reached out to me probably about 4 years ago and invited me up to his cottage for a guys' weekend. He said there's gonna be 7-8 guys coming.
No phones.
No, but the deal is, yeah, no phones for partying.
It was a different weekend.
No, he goes, yeah, that's right. No, he said, but the deal is, you got to come with a startup idea. You got to come with a business pitch.
Oh.
You got 10 minutes, deck everything, the full deal, and everybody's going to run through their business pitches, and then we'll see what the boys brainstorm. And I was thinking, like, that's super cool. I was like, 100%.
That's super cool.
Right?
Yeah.
It was maybe a month later. I reached out to him. And I told him, Bryan, I got the idea. Cancel the weekend.
Yeah,
we got to
cancel
get
that
together.
weekend.
Cancel the weekend. So we did. We got together, and then we spent a month going back and forth on it. Next thing you know, Bryan brought in Matt, and that to today was about 3 years ago.
A lot of work, huh?
Yeah.
So much work.
Yeah.
And then Matt, your official title?
Yep. So Chief Technology Officer. Probably a little too fancy for a company at this stage, but yeah. So basically, anything technology related. If there's a bug, it's my fault.
You created the bug, and you fix the bug.
Yeah. So I fix everything. I build everything with a team, of course, and yeah.
And Bryan?
Yeah, I'd just say design, because it kind of covers pretty much everything. Like anything you can see, I did it. Anything you can't see, Matt did it. It's all like kind of behind the scenes. So yeah, I do all the like branding. So when you see like the what the marketing and stuff looks like,
yep.
And all of the app design, so all of the UX
okay.
and all the copywriting and all that stuff I do. So.
But that's not for you guys. It's not your first app, right? Or
no.
guys,
So the reason I was doing that app weekend and I'd invited Mike is I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. I'd sold my previous app, and I'd taken some time off. I promised my wife I would take some time off, and that was a lie. And then basically, as soon as
recorded
Mike,
now, by the way.
As soon as Mike, came back to me and said cancel the Dragon's Den weekend, basically.
So it was only the one idea
started.
came right to the top.
Yeah,
that's basically it.
There's some back pocket ideas still floating around, but this was the winner by far. So
I'm curious to ask you, gentlemen, what do you guys think about the construction industry? And then obviously, Mike, what do you think of the technical? Because I do agree these need to get married. There's got to be a Tinder
100%.
relationship going on here
Absolutely.
for construction and technology. And I'm seeing it with the younger trades. The younger trades are embracing it, but I think that there is a lot of noise out there. That's the problem, is that you're getting bombarded with so much tech and you're wondering, where do I park my car behind, right?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of construction?
I mean, Bryan said it pretty well in the beginning. Is like, things got to be super simple because they're not used to a ton of technology. And so, I do support phone calls all the time where people are having issues, and we learn from that every time. We always like, all right, we had this issue and we solved it, but like next time, how can we fix that? Like, let's make this a little bit easier, because they're used to things that are a little more tactile, right? So how can we get as close to that tactile experience as possible without adding overhead to what they're doing, make their
It's
jobs
actually
more complicated?
When you're starting a company, don't have like a support person at this stage. Like, we need to hear from the user. I need to hear what's going wrong, because every time there's a problem with the app, it's probably a design thing that I need to fix.
Okay.
So when people are like, hey, I can't figure out how to sign in, that's something that I take away, and I'm like, okay, I got to make it easier in the designs for people to to get past
To get to that
specific
point.
problem.
But you want these mistakes to come at
So
you.
these are not these are not their, this isn't their problem. This is my problem.
Okay.
Right. So Matt, when people have a question, or they come on our support page, or they call us, it's us that pick the phone up, because we need to know if this is an opportunity to make the product better. Like, we're always doing it. We ship a new version of the app every 2 weeks. Right. Wow. So we're always fixing up stuff. It's getting better all the time, right? People are probably annoyed with us because every time they go to open the app, it says you need to update it. But I mean, they're getting new free software all the time.
Well, thankfully the phones are smart enough just to update themselves.
That's
now,
right,
which is
yeah.
fantastic.
Okay, which is great. And then, Mike, on your end, looking at, like, it's true what you said at the very beginning. You have a guy. We have a guy that can go get the fill, right? Can go get this. What do we have to take care of? How did you see translating that guy in reality to a digital component?
So I've been in the civil construction world for, I've been hands-on in the industry for over 10 years now. And And I've preached, you know, how archaic a lot of the processes are in civil construction. And, you know, there's so much room for improvement. And I don't think people realize, unless you're in the industry, how expensive civil construction is, right? Like, you're talking big dollars. Like, you know, you just said it, smaller trades are starting to embrace technology and roll it out because they see the efficiencies that, you know, the intent of technology is supposed to drive. I think one of the problems with civil construction is you don't have many young entrepreneurs getting into it because it's so capital intensive. They can't, right? That's one of the biggest roadblocks. And you got organizations, larger organizations that, you know, they struggle with understanding the technology, understanding the capabilities of it, and then ultimately going through the painful process of rolling it out. So, you know, but in general, though, the tech world it's a totally different beast. And
You guys probably know the tech more than I do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've got my apps that I use and that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of apps, and I'm just trying to figure out, based on your R&D, at what point do users give up on the app? And I'm just assuming that's multiplied
It's like you
tenfold
got
in construction.
A couple seconds, right?
for
If
sure.
someone comes to your
That
app,
really that quick,
yeah,
huh?
for sure.
Wow.
You have like a couple seconds.
There's
But
a couple.
there's
There's actually like a couple things we've had to implement to deal with that issue. So like
Yeah.
the first thing is, like, you launch the app. The first thing you see is the map. You see all the listings. You see all the reuse sites. It's just like, oh, it's just like this magical moment. Like, I can see everything on the map. So we're not like burdening them with like, oh, sign up and fill out this giant form. We can deal with all that later.
Because
It's
you
just
knew
like,
what
let's
was
show
going
you
to
the
happen
magic.
if that was the case.
Some
that's
apps-
the end.
Some apps in this space, not to name any names, but you go to their website and there is no get started button. There's talk to our sales team button.
Wow.
So you click on that and you have to book a meeting or a demo, and then you get the whole song and dance with the sales team. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give you this price for our software. And you know that you're not getting the same price as everyone else who uses this app. And with us, you know, up until a couple of weeks ago, we didn't have a marketing website. You go to the website, it is the app. You're immediately in, like Google Maps.
Yeah.
You know, there's no marketing website for
Yeah.
Google Maps when you go to it. You
It's
just go
just
right
there.
into it.
We know it.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's open. So you go right in. We don't ask anything from you. We immediately show you all the listings completely for free. And then it's only when you click on a listing and you want to view more details that we're like, hey, we need your email address.
But you're
we're not
starting
charging
to
you.
communicate with
Yeah,
them, right?
for sure. And all we're asking for is the email, just so like we can protect the website and protect this person's information, so you're not just scooping it up. And then it's still completely free. And then we don't even ask for a password, right? This is how easy we're trying to make things. We have a system. It's called Magic Links. We'll keep the tech stuff down. We won't get too.
I was just about to say, because right now, I mean, we've been into
It's
it
totally a
already.
new system.
I just want to let people know that are listening. This is about moving Earth. Like, this is
Yeah,
about
yeah.
well, more than
We'll
just
show
moving
pictures.
Earth, right? There's a lot more than just moving Earth.
We want to be like, you know, the Microsoft Office of dirt, right? So we have this hub and spoke model for our app, which is like we have this marketplace that's in the middle.
Yeah.
And then we're building all of these other things around this marketplace. So we have like a load tracking app as well that's perfectly integrated. But at the core of it is this marketplace.
Yeah.
Because that's the real thing that we're solving, right? It's like a social network or a
But
dating
then,
website.
Manny, like you said, in regards to the marketplace, I mean, we're talking excess soil, dirt. We're also talking
Aggregates.
concrete, asphalt,
Yeah.
aggregates,
Everything.
recyclable materials,
Snow.
like everything across the
Anything
board.
that's got to get moved that's bigger than a shovel,
That's right.
you guys are handling it, right?
When you see dump trucks, thousands of them every day zipping around the highways, live bottoms, any sort of tractor trailers, what they're hauling is what we're after.
What's the old way or the current way that it's done? What's the archaic way that it's done?
That's the way.
Like, how is it literally phone calls and just what time you going to show up here?
There's only one way, and that is scrolling through your phone, calling all your contacts. You know, I guess the other way is you hop in your pickup and you grab a coffee and you drive around and you follow dump trucks. You look for construction sites, you see who it is, you try and call them. Like, it's painful.
You
right?
wouldn't
It
believe
is.
how
Painful.
much money trades hands from like just text messages and like handshake deals and just walking around and but no, it doesn't matter who you are. There's no way that you know every construction company. You can't.
No.
It's this impossible
simple.
thing. So people used to, or some people still do. They have like a guy who has a private network of sites, and then they'll say, "Oh, I'll call my guy," and then one of these guys, these brokers, will basically match make you with someone else, and we're like, okay, we can reproduce this entire thing with code,
and it levels the playing field, like the same way not to compare ourselves to the birth of the internet and the way that leveled the information playing field.
the internet.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Right now.
But it levels the playing field for construction companies, like smaller ones. They're able to actually have all the information, like, oh, I can see all these reuse sites, instead of having to go to the traditional, like, go drop it at a site that's going to charge them insane fees because that's the most well-known site to drop off material. They can see all the sites, see all the deals that are available to them. So
you guys are already building all of that. Like that's happening.
Mostly
right?
built, yeah.
Yeah,
So
the vast majority built. So when we, sorry, Brian, when we actually launched the app, like we had preloaded almost 1,000 facilities. And so when we say facilities, I mean like fixed locations, so not construction sites that are exporting or importing specific materials, fixed locations that are there and for the most part have been there for a while and will be there for the future. Concrete plants, asphalt plants, quarries, liquid waste recycling facilities, dirt recycling.
Well, that took a week or two for you guys to do.
so long.
6 months, and then we mapped out, we estimated what they import, what they export, exactly where they are, the company email domain. So
did they know what you guys were talking about when you
No.
started? They didn't know, right? It was
No,
almost
it was
speaking
totally
a different language. It had to have been.
Some
right?
people got it very early, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple very outstanding companies that
Yeah.
done.
And now what's the network like now? Is it? It's grown.
100%.
Oh, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. So when we first launched with these facilities, we associated email domains with them. So then that way somebody from that company, when they sign in with a matching email domain, they automatically claim the facility. When they claim it,
like that.
for sure.
Yeah.
Easy, right? So when they claim it, then they can start to edit what they import and they export. And so that was a very seamless process. Since then, we've had tons of new facilities onboarded.
Yeah.
And then obviously construction sites. Like we got 1,000 sites across Ontario now.
So
Wow.
if you remember the early days of Google Maps, we draw a lot of inspiration from it. So when you look at our products, they all look like apps that you already know, right? If you know how to use Google Maps, you know how to use our map. Same with our chat program that we built, and same with like most of the stuff we're trying to copy other patterns. You call them UX design.
It works. It makes sense.
Sure, there's
Apply it
nothing to relearn.
contractors.
It's like everything's in the same place, right?
Yeah.
And in the early days of Google Maps, you had to claim your business listing. So you would go in and you'd be like, yeah, that's my yoga studio. You'd click claim this business, and then they would mail you a postcard with like a PIN code on it. And then you had to go and enter the PIN code, and that's how you claimed your business on Google Maps.
Got it.
So what we're just saying is like we built a system that instead of mailing people postcards to claim their yoga studio, you could be the president of a concrete company, sign into our app, and you could claim 70 facilities in 1 second, and then instantly be able to enrich all of those facilities. So these people claim their entire network of businesses, and then they can enrich the data. So some listings you'll see on our platform have like just basic contact info, basic material info, and then some we can show like really big companies. They have every single material that they sell in exactly the weights that they sell it by and exactly the price that they're offering. And then they even go in every day and they'll say, yeah, this is available today, this isn't available today. So
you guys are notifying your users on a morning basis, right? Or
that's for matches.
okay.
So that's our primary feature of the marketplace is matchmaking. So Mike has a really good way of putting it, but which this is kind of what sold me on the app. This is the elevator pitch for our app, basically. Every construction site has the wrong amount of dirt. They have either too much or not enough.
It's true.
Every construction site you've ever driven past has
It's
the wrong
very
amount.
true.
They need it or they got too much.
Yeah.
And we connect people who have too much with people that don't have enough.
At any given time, sorry, what were you?
No, I was just going to say it's 100% right. There isn't a site that doesn't need to import or export materials. But in addition to the dirt, I mean, after that, once the dirt's done, what's coming in next?
Yeah,
you're hauling in gravel.
Yeah,
right.
All your aggregates, everything else
All
that you
your
need to replace it
aggregates.
with.
I talked to a senior engineer from a huge home building company, and he said that they would tell the engineers it's such a huge problem to get rid of the dirt or to bring it in that they would tell their engineers, you need to design this whole housing development so that no dirt has to come in or out. So it was this enormous design challenge just to keep
Is that possible?
One to
That's
one.
not
No,
possible.
he said it was
It's
a
impossible.
huge headache to do. So I'm not a home builder, But you know, his head was in his hands when I told him about how easy we were making this for people to just get matched up and connect dirt with.
Do you guys know offhand? I'm just curious. At any given time in the Greater Toronto area, how many trucks are moving around the city?
So
I have no idea.
A lot. So in I think it was 2 years ago, the Ministry of Environment, they estimated that there is 25 million cubic meters being moved within Ontario, or maybe I think it was GTA, on an annual basis. 25 million cubic meters. Now, we know, and it's kind of funny because they're saying this, without really any market data. I mean, they have an idea.
Where do they get the number from then?
Yeah, well, that's a good question.
Did they pull a rabbit out first and then get the number?
Well, I don't know. That's a very good question. but we know now with what we have on the marketplace, like there's double that. There's 50 million cubes being moved on an annual basis. If not, I would say with confidence, there's even more than that.
25 million cubes is enough to fill the Sky Dome. I'm never going to call it the Rogers Center.
No, we're all old enough to call it a Sky Dome.
It's enough to fill the Sky Dome 16 times a year. It's so much dirt.
A year.
That's just from the GTA.
That's just,
and a lot of it is like real contaminated. So it has to be like treated properly, disposed of properly. So it's a huge. That's part of what got me interested in this, is just like how big of a problem this is. Our previous environment minister, not the current one, previous, maybe 2 years ago, said that this was the biggest environmental problem and economic problem in Ontario.
Is this all over GTA?
It's all over Ontario, yeah. Like, this is an enormous problem, is where does the dirt go? And how does it...
No, I was actually wondering about the contaminated dirt.
Oh, yeah, like there's many different receiving facilities that are and like testing, and there's a lot of regulation. It's a heavily regulated industry, and that's part of the value we bring is, from day one, we designed it with an amazing engineering firm, GEI, and they made sure that when someone creates a listing on Phil, it is... If you fill everything out, you are in compliance. You've captured everything that you need in order to adhere to Ontario's soil regulations, right? It's kind of like, how do I do my taxes? Oh, just go sign up for QuickBooks, fill it out, and you're doing your taxes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's basically dirt taxes.
I want to share something different with you guys. I think this is such a good idea. I wanted to have them on the show. Do you guys work in civil construction? You're overpaying on haulage materials and dump fees too? Are you tired of chasing down sites on the phone, overpaying brokers? You should meet a new guy named Phil. That's with a P. He's actually an app, a free construction marketplace with other tools like load tracking and reports. Create your listing in 2 minutes. Phil will match you down to the soil table. You can even track your loads once you are ready to haul. No contracts or sales calls. It's booming too. Over $200 million worth of tipping fees and other material like concrete rubble have been listed since 2022. You can sign up for free on the website at www.getphil.app. That's www.getphil.app. You can also search Phil in the App Store. Okay, so I love that you guys have basically started this whole show talking about how simple it is to set it up, right? So
yeah,
we want to walk through it and just explain how simple it is to walk through, right?
Shot of our team shot here. You can see we've got other people on the team. So the 3 co-founders, and then Stephen and Conrad and Leanne couldn't be with us here today, but this is really the main thing. I could just show the app. You want to just show it?
Whatever works for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, we want people to go to. I mean, obviously, you can go to the App Store, and it's Get Phil, right?
So
getphil.app.
Getphil.app
Yeah.
is the web app.
Yeah.
We have a marketing website as well. If you want to see it, it's go.getphil.app. But these are all real listings. So when we zoom out,
There's Ontario.
it's kind of like light stars at or
Holy, it's like a night view of Ontario.
Yeah, it is. And these are all real listings that are on the map, right? So you can search by location, same as Google. You can filter by what kind of listing it is, if it's an import or export listing. So if you're just looking for a disposal facility for asphalt grindings, you can just go disposal facility.
This is pure genius. I know I told you this on the phone,
Yeah.
man. This is pure genius, man.
Yeah,
It's very kind.
or like recycled concrete, whatever, and then you just filter it all the way down. So we have, and most of these are not in Google at all, right? So we already, even if you come to our site and are like, I don't care about getting matched with another site, we have the biggest listing of facilities in Ontario for sure.
See, the funny thing is, 100%. So if you Google Stone Depot, you know your first hit's going to be Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, because they sell bags of gravel. You know what I mean? Like there's nowhere to go, and I think people would be shocked to see how many there are. Like they're everywhere. They're scattered all over the place.
We just don't know about it.
Yeah, we don't know about it, or people have their specific sources they go to, and whatever.
But
the
I don't
case
care
is.
who you are. You don't know every business in every township.
Not a chance.
So like if you're doing a project in Guelph and you've never been there before, or this is a new thing, you can just go to Guelph on the map and you can see,
How is it up north?
everyone. It's a little bit more sparse for sure.
Okay.
The heavy demand is in the GTA, but
I just know a lot of contractors are going up that way, and
we have
there's a lot of work going on up there.
like Aurelia is sort of where things start to get sparse, but you zoom in. There's some nice.
So sorry, with the difference between the blue and the green ones.
Oh yeah, so when you look at the pins, green. I'll zoom in here.
So you can tell I'm a contractor, not a tech guy.
Yeah, so green arrow up is a site that's generating.
Got it.
So
Now
arrow going out.
Okay.
So you can see here a little bit of an older listing, but this site is a smaller one. They got 30 loads of topsoil going out. There's another one.
How good are the estimates? Like when you guys are saying 30 loads of topsoil going out, that's an estimate of what's going on Earth, right? Like what's
people to refine them, right? So just, you can update your listing at any time. So a lot of people will make a listing for a huge amount, and then as it gets spoken for, they'll whittle the number down. There's a, as I zoom around.
Sorry, I think I asked you something you were answering, and then I interrupted you, and then
No.
I think Mike was going to say, I don't know, like I'm still dumbfounded how simple this is and how this is so useful now.
So in regards to making it simple, like just jump back to the icons. Like there are 3 icons, right? Green arrow pointing up represents an export site, whether it's an active construction site, it's an active facility, somebody is looking to export a material. Blue arrow pointing down is the opposite. It's an import site.
Yep.
And then an icon with 2 arrows, one pointing up, one pointing down, means it does both. So that could be a Stone Depot that exports limestone and recycled concrete, but then also imports concrete rubble with the active reprocessing.
So here's a pretty nice listing. So I was just clicking randomly. Ajax, this guy, RG Peel Construction. Sorry, I'm giving you a shout out on. Thank you for creating a listing. 16,000 loads of dirt at $100 a load. They're importing in Ajax.
Stay closer to the mic, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so you can see they created it 71 days ago.
So once they claimed it, they set it up. It's there.
So this would have been created from scratch.
Yeah.
So they don't have to claim these listings. They just click on add a listing here. They picked create an import listing, and then they filled out the paperwork. They put in their address and everything, and then it pops up. Like you can create it instantly, right? So you can create a listing the same. It takes the same amount of time as like a Kijiji post. Is photo, couple details, put your soil report in if you got it.
So I get a question. I guess this is mostly designed for large hauls dump, right? But can it be designed for smaller hauls?
We have a lot of small ones. So as I was clicking around, there was one for like 10 loads of dirt. So there's smaller guys using it.
We got to mix of both. I mean, we're going from 10, say 100 cubes to we got a bunch of sites that are importing million cubic meters. So
there's guys filling in their gravel pits for like 1 million loads, and some pretty wild ones. So we have over $200 million worth of material listed on the platform today, 120 million this year. So there's a lot of, in the banking industry, you call it assets under management. This is dirt under management, DUM, D-U-M. This is not our AUM, this is our DUM. But yeah, we have $200 million worth of material that's been listed in the last 2 years.
And this is just Ontario.
A lot of dirt. Just the GTA.
Ontario.
Just the GTA. So you're talking about 17 cities.
GTA down to, Kitchener, Waterloo.
And then I can only assume that this is going to expand. And
that's probably the biggest opportunity for us is just we can copy and paste to
other cities.
The West Coast. Or Quebec is a little bit more challenging. But
why does everybody say
States.
that? Say that Quebec's a little more
data,
challenging.
privacy and stuff. There's so many things that are just like really over the top. Difficult to. I think the main thing is they have their own load tracking software that's mandated by the government in Quebec. So we have a load tracking app as well that we could get into, which is like I was saying, this is the marketplace. This is completely free, and then the way that we make money is we run ads.
Yeah,
which you saw. We're gonna have like Kijiji upgrades. So if you want to promote your listing, you want to do stuff like that, and then we have a load tracking service as well. That's 50 cents a load for tracking, which is pretty fair. But the system that they use in Quebec is how much? $50, $40 a load or something.
$20
$20 a load.
$20 per load, mandated by the government.
So the government has mandated their own app in Quebec. That's $20 a load. Ours is 50 cents a load. So and that's what we need to keep the lights on. But it doesn't actually that doesn't get you anything. That's just for the software ticket price, just to use their app.
It just sounds so useful.
It's kind of wild.
Makes me want to move to
difference.
Quebec. It
Yeah,
just makes a lot of
so
sense.
that's part of the reason we're not that interested in Quebec is
There's other provinces.
someone might
and
come to our
territories.
house or something.
Well, listen, I've recorded shows in Quebec, and I've had plenty of Quebec contractors on the show, and they say the same thing. They just it's part of contracting, it's part of construction. That's all it is.
Pretty
Let's
wild.
just go with it, right?
So that's really the marketplace that's here. So yeah, and then by popular demand, a lot of people asked us to build a load tracking app.
Yep.
So by law, every load of dirt in Ontario has to be tracked.
Yeah, we have to know where it's coming from. We have to know where it's
Which is
going.
good.
It's
Yep.
not like we're building the Olympic Stadium in Montreal or anything like that. No,
sure.
we have to know exactly what's going on there,
For sure.
right? It's a little jab at Quebec there sometimes.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
But that's smart that you guys can do that. So then we actually know, right? I mean, and you should know. When
think
you're building
about-
a new structure, you totally should know.
but because we already know, because you already have an account in our marketplace,
Yeah.
and you've put your sites in, it's so easy for you to just say, okay, add load tracking to those sites. So you've already got the material, the dates, everything that's available. So it's really easy for us to just layer on more and more features on top of that. So you come to the website, you make a listing, we automatically match you with someone else. You can chat with them in the app. You can make an offer. You can agree on your offer, and then you can turn that offer into tracked loads. And then it's just like an end to end to end to end. It's totally seamless, and it's completely free up until the first truck leaves. And then it's only 50 cents a load, which is like nothing. The truck idles for 5 seconds and on its way out the door, and that's 50 cents worth of gas,
insane,
right? So,
man.
yeah, so it's crazy how much heartburn we've gotten over the 50 cent from some people, which is kind of nuts. It's literally cheaper than carbon paper. Like guys use
Which
the
is-
3-ply paper
Yeah,
to
I
write
know.
receipts.
They're still doing
Our
that.
system is cheaper than ordering pads of that paper.
They're still doing it.
Per print.
Per print.
Yeah, per print. I know.
I bet you 95% of
Which
the
is
industry that's hauling dirt here are handwriting tickets.
It's all
Yeah.
handwritten, man.
Yeah, they all got the thumbprints for it.
fucking
Like all the,
100%.
that's what they'll do, right?
So in addition to tracking, within the new Sol Reg amendment that rolled out this year, January 23, another addition to that was, or in the new regs was that drivers need to have a bill of lading. So they need a bill of lading in the truck when they're carrying extra Sol, and that bill of lading is going to show, where the dirt was originated, where its destination, time, table, all the details, and who the driver is. So what we've built in the app, in our tracking function, all we require is the driver's first and last name, the license plate of the truck, which is required in the bill of lading, and their cell number. And as soon as the exporting site clicks to send off that truck and put it in transit, the driver gets a text message from Phil with a link.
Says, "Hey,
in the event he ever
drive
needs
safe."
his bill of lading, it's there. So he's got it in his pocket, so the driver's covered, but the driver doesn't actually have to do anything.
Yeah.
And
That's the key.
and
he just
that-
does his job.
Doesn't need
he just
hardware.
does his job, and he needs to have a cell phone, and we send him a text. But that's one of the big things. 'Cause
One of
you-
our competitors makes they make it so that the driver has to install their app on their phone to run.
That's not gonna
So you
happen.
have the
It's not gonna
driver's
happen.
phone on the hot
Not gonna
dashboard of the
happen.
car
Not gonna happen.
running the app, and it's polling his location of his potentially personal cell phone that's on the dash. And it's like, that's a consumer device. It's not meant, it isn't dedicated GPS hardware. It's literally going to blow up. Like the battery will swell and explode. That's just like a dead in the water. You can't ask drivers to do that. That's an invasion of their privacy.
won't do
and-
it.
and their
Well,
they
system,
won't do
right?
it.
So-
They won't do it, but the other thing is too. I mean, when you have got a big export going, you got 40 triaxles on a site. You could easily have 20 different trucks on Wednesday than you did Tuesday. So every morning you're going to
Exactly.
get everybody down. Like it's never going to happen. So
We can show you how easy ours
we
is.
made that important to just avoid it. So it's seamless.
So we were showing you was the map, right? These are all marketplace listings. You connect and save money. Once you connect with someone, you turn it into load tracking. It's like all totally seamless. But then you get this sort of like driver navigation kind of view of like, here are all of your connections. So like, this is using Mike's company as an example. This is a real haul that's going on. So you can see here are your sites that are moving dirt. You can click on this one. You can see, this is a hauling approval. 1,489 of 2,500 loads have moved. it's just a progress bar, right? But
Right.
the way that guys do
They're
it,
literally just following.
it's literally
So-
a progress bar.
Brian, do the soil export. We're active right now.
Yeah, so if
You
you
go-
click,
that
the
one
soil
right
export,
there.
yeah, okay, so
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
another one. So, but you can see, okay, like the way that guys do it with paper tickets is like you have these tickets and then you have to reconcile. It's crazy. We're doing a progress bar.
Gotta unfold it
And
straighten it
some
out.
other apps, they allow you to take a photo of your paper ticket, and
That's too much work.
now you have a digital backup
too
of
much work,
of
yeah.
a paper backup.
Defeats the purpose.
So we just literally leapfrogged the whole thing, and we're like, how about no tickets? We're just going to do a progress bar.
Are you getting that right? Yeah.
And so these are real trucks that are driving right now. So these are you can see these ones that are yellow are expected soon.
So can you guys send the drivers like little messages going, "I see you, I see
Yeah.
you."
So you can message right there. You can call. There's the driver who's driving. Maybe blur that out, but you can see.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is going to. You can take photos of the truck when it's going or arriving. So it's like Amazon. It'll show you what the truck looks like. So if you're receiving the truck, you can see.
Holy
Oh, here's
man.
here's the color of the truck. You know, truck 22 is coming, and then you can mark it as received or whatever. But so if you're whoever's sitting on the site receiving trucks, they would see what I'm seeing right now, which is like, oh, okay, yeah, what's that truck coming through? Okay, truck 109. Okay, receive the truck. It's super easy, and it's no
cow.
driver involvement. They don't have to run hardware. They don't.
They're
have to
just
do
doing
anything.
their-
They're just doing their job.
Their livelihood. That's what they're doing.
That's right.
And then Big Brother, I guess, is just following along, which is Phil, right? The Big Brother Phil.
Yeah, but we're not
that's right.
we're not tracking their location whatsoever. We have an algorithmic way that we're calculating when they're expected to.
But you know
arrive.
when they left, when they're expected to arrive,
And we
when
know-
they do arrive.
And we know how long that took every other truck to do the exact same route. So the more trucks drive the route, and based
You guys
and
have
plus
the
traffic,
data.
plus the traffic conditions, we know exactly when the truck's coming. So people are spending tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on tracking apps and dedicated GPS hardware. It does other stuff like it'll tell you your fuel consumption. Or
Does it
engine
help
codes,
with
but we're doing it
navigating
for
through
basically zero
Toronto?
cost.
Will you guys do that on the app or no?
Navigations? No, that's too
That's
tough.
that's impossible to navigate in Toronto.
We explicitly
Yeah, that's
create
right.
that out.
We explicitly say this is not turn-by-turn navigation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but these trucks are being received as we're watching, so it's all live. This isn't like a website where you have to like refresh to see what's going on.
So what you see.
There you go. That truck was just received.
So there that expected to truck was just received. So above this, you see a summary of what's happening on this job, right? So there's 19 trucks that have been registered today.
Loads 20, yeah.
They've done 122 loads so far.
And you even have average
pitch,
round trip.
135, 139, exactly.
The coolest thing, and this is kind of lame, but I think this is really cool.
This is so cool.
Is if someone calls you or the municipality's like, hey, I need to see what's going on at your site or whatever, it's so easy to pull a report. There's literally a download button at the top. You press download. And
It's generating it
and
as you guys are doing
It's always
it.
live and it's always cloud-based. So you could have 100 people at your company that have the same view as this. And then you just say, okay, yeah, I want reports from these two sites, request, and that's it. And you get an Excel file in your email and you have everything that you would ever need to know.
Yeah, and
about
even
those trucks.
the biggest advantage of these is, you got a ton of brokers moving dirt on one of your projects. They're going to invoice you with they're going to have all their tickets stapled in behind their invoice. You got to reconcile that invoice.
Yeah.
Which means without doing a process like this, you're relying on your foreman to take their pink slips of the 3 carbon ply, not let it go through the dishwasher and somehow or the washing machine,
Yeah.
Washing
and
machine.
then
Yep.
get it to the office. That's how you reconcile.
We've
right?
created a single
This
source
is-
of truth.
So it cuts that whole process out.
So my question to you guys is, okay, can you make it easier?
Yes. So right here you can see I have this whole deck we haven't even touched, but I'll zip ahead through here. But like
What generation are you guys, like what version are you guys on right now?
like I said, every 2 weeks there's
Every
a
2
new
weeks
one,
is-
so
wow.
there's too many to count. This is what's launching in like 2 days. We're doing haul sharing. So what we showed you right now is like point A, point B.
Point B.
You're sending a truck from here to there, and really those are the only two people that can really view what's happening. Yes, it's true. You can invite other third parties, to join your company to view it, but that wasn't really the ideal solution. So we're launching a system we're calling haul sharing. So basically, each haul is like a Google document, and you can invite as many people as you want and give them all different permissions. So you could say, I want to invite the haulage company to view it so they can pull reports for their own billing. I want to invite my engineering company and give them edit access. So because I trust my engineering firm, they can change anything they want about the hall that's currently active. The landowner, the developer, can be invited, and they can pull reports. They don't have to bug me for reports. They can just pull them whenever they want. And haulage company, municipality. If the municipality wants to keep tabs on your site, you can just invite them and give them view-only access.
Which a lot of the time you don't have an option in that, right? The municipality has eyes on what's going on.
Right?
For sure.
What do you want? Do you want them to call you, or do you want them to just give what they need?
They're gonna be upset. You're making their jobs a lot easier, right?
For sure. And then labor company, you can just give them handle only permission, so they can just handle receiving or sending trucks.
And that's on the app right now.
This is launching in like 2 days.
On 2 days.
And this is included in the 50-cent charge. So we're releasing stuff all the time, and we're not charging anymore.
It almost feels like Phil's in pesos or something like that. Man. Like it's just so cheap. Am I saying? Is it just?
But if you use it, it truly is getting better every 2 weeks. We're just always releasing new stuff and not charging anymore for it. But it's because the marketplace is so valuable. There's so many people coming in and creating accounts and spending time in there. And I can give you a good stat. So
I'm just curious.
I'll zoom up. We had some pride stats to go through here. So that's basically, just to recap, we got the marketplace. That's our main feature. The second feature is we have the biggest database of businesses for sure. And then a lot of them have live chat now. So I know, I don't want to name drop. This big construction or big
construction company in Toronto.
When you click on their listings, they have a live chat that we built for them. So you
Okay.
can chat with them in the app. So you don't even have to call them.
Because they've got so many loads moving at any given
They
time.
just didn't want to. They just wanted to get off the phone,
Well,
and they understood. They're like,
Yeah.
live chat. We didn't charge them anything for it. It's totally free. And then it's the load tracking we just talked about. So yeah, we've had 882 companies sign up in 2 years.
That's a lot.
And there are some really big companies for sure. And the craziest stat, and this is like clip the stat. So when you design apps, you have what are called active users, right? Doesn't matter how many users you have, really. So if someone's like,
It's
oh
who's
yeah, I
using
made
it.
an app and I got 1,000 users, it's like, okay, how many are active?
Yeah.
How many are coming there every day, week, or month? So we have 882
Companies.
total companies. 850 of them are monthly active. So it's over 96% something.
Because they see the value, right?
But they're in there every month making those.
So I'm assuming there isn't much of an adoption period here. Like once they try it, they do it, they get it,
Yeah.
and they use it.
So there's a lot of name dropping on this slide, but like some of these companies have like 50 users, some of them have 20 users, some of them have 2. So every day, it's my favorite part of the day is like seeing new people who have signed up and being like, oh my god, these guys signed up. Yes, this is amazing.
But I guess
That's
right now,
the first thing I do in the morning. I look at
it's all word of mouth right now. It's just through the network of construction
This is
now, right?
this is the first interview we've ever done.
Yeah.
For this, so
Feel good.
yeah.
No,
But,
that's great.
But yeah, that 800. That's
a huge number.
Anyone who's in the app world and just heard me say we have like over 90%.
Yeah, I was
active
about to say,
users
so about
is like
90%?
probably doesn't believe me, right? That's such a high stat. So
I love that you guys have cracked the construction technology marriage, right? Like I don't think there is any other construction relevant like digital device that's this strong.
no, there have been
think
some
so.
other marketplaces. There's another marketplace on the West Coast that's a paid model, so you have to pay, I don't know what it is, $200 a month or something to be in there. But would you ever use Kijiji if you had to pay for it? Like it would die on the vine, or you'd never use it. So we knew that the marketplace had to be free, and we just needed to get everyone in and make it really valuable. And like the money is coming. Like it's only year 2. You start a business, you should not expect to be making money for the first couple of years.
Well, but we use
Welcome
a similar,
to self-employment. That's not how
we
this
use a
works.
similar model to Kijiji. I mean, why not play off their success? It's
Exactly.
just advertising, right? We can advertise to people based on their industry, and when you go to a listing, there's an advertisement.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's not
in
going to
line.
annoy anybody
Sure.
at that point.
Yeah.
Because the benefit of the app outweighs that.
This is the most
100%,
valuable thing
yeah.
is user adoption and what's called product market fit. When you design an app, the most valuable thing that can happen for your app is product market fit.
Yep.
You made a thing, and some like big enough people in the industry have said, yeah, we love your thing, we're going to use it. That's happened to us twice now. So they've done it with the marketplace, and they're doing it with the load tracking. So that's 2 lightning strikes for an app company to be able to say that they got product
impressive.
market fit twice. So that's a big deal.
So I know earlier on you guys talked about it's not just about earth, right? It's just not about clean or
Yeah.
it's like what's the whole? I want everybody to understand the grocery list of different materials that can be moved through the app.
Oh yeah.
And then I actually I'm curious myself about contaminated material and the process on that, because that's obviously, I guess it's technically still an A to B point, but there's still more caution attached to that, right?
Yeah. So in regards to transporting through the app, like what are we tracking? Right now we're focusing on soil, and that's what we've done thus far. Aggregate is a product that we want to get into. I think there's a bit of an obstacle with the MTO in regards to aggregate, because they require actually printed tickets in aggregate trucks.
Because they're dinosaurs.
Hope you're sitting down.
Exactly, 100%. No, so that's something that actually we want to get in front of and start working on, because there's just as much aggregate moving up and down the road as dirt. And you know what? In regards to mandating, printed tickets, requiring them, cement trucks, same thing. They all do the same thing. So
the MTO should meet Phil and kind of.
The MTO should meet Phil.
I'm sure you guys wheels are spinning there, but same with all the concrete. Exactly.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
But yeah, I mean, outside of the excess fill, every construction site needs a lot more than just the coordination of earth moving.
Yeah.
Right. Just every site needs aggregate. Everybody needs concrete. Everybody needs asphalt. Any redevelopment site needs to dispose of concrete rubble, and at the end of the day, any of the costs associated with either those the supply or disposal, it's all around logistics. It's trucking, right?
Matt's like 6'5" or something like that, and he realizes there isn't that much leg room underneath the table. Even though the table's big, it's not the size of a dump truck. Right?
I'm showing you the listing create screen here. So like you can import or export or make a business listing. So if you're exporting, I'm just going to pick like a random location. But when you actually go to fill it out, like there's all of these government exemptions and things. So you can say, it's a low risk site. All of our compliance stuff is here. You just fill it out and you're in compliance. But the material list is what I wanted to show you. So you're exporting clean fill, contaminated fill, concrete, recycled concrete, liquid fill, topsoil, asphalt, recycled asphalt, sand and gravel, salt, garbage waste, scrap metal, landscape stone, colored aggregate, mulch,
you should put like new guy,
fill, whatever. So there's just tons of stuff, and then for each one of these materials, you pick, like asphalt, and you can say, okay, we got hot mix, driveway, grindings. What do we got? So you can put in whatever, whatever you move, you can put it in there. And we had people request snow last winter, so we put snow in there. People were creating snow dumps in the app. So
that only happens when we get I guess when we get a serious downfall, right? Like but it makes sense.
Yeah, but it was funny that someone actually went and they had to list it as clean fill, but then in the title they put this is actually a snow dump.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we'll just add snow.
They made a little note. Is it actually snow? It's pretty funny. But
okay, we'll get back to the interview in a second, guys. But if you haven't already signed up for Phil, the guys we're talking to, you should do it now. The marketplace is free and full of great listings. Find closer sites and make soil reg compliance easy. Phil's load tracking blows the competition away. It's a good-looking and simple app. You get a real-time view of all your sites, hauls, and trucks right in your pocket. What if the other guy doesn't have Phil? No problem. They can sign up and send or receive the first truck in 5 minutes. No sales calls or IT guys needed. You can also invite other companies to join your hauls, like engineers, landowners, or even municipalities. Tracking doesn't require drivers to do anything, and there's a 14-day free trial. I bet you can move a lot of dirt in 14 days. Sign up for free on the website at www.getfill.app. That's www.getfill.app. You can also search Phil in the App Store.
Yeah, it's going really well, and we actually have a announcement that we can make on here. This is like literally the first time we've announced this.
Who's having a baby?
He just had one, actually.
Literally
just had one with my sister.
Not another.
Yeah, for sure. But Duffer and Construction, the largest civil construction company in Canada, I think.
Canada.
They're in Canada.
Yeah.
And then I don't know exactly how they stack up in North America, but top.
They're huge.
Huge.
Oh, yeah. They're
So they're our number one fan.
Concrete's going to be getting it on with Phil.
And they move a lot of dirt.
Wow.
So they're mandating fill. They're putting all their sites in, and they're tracking every load of dirt.
So they have their construction division, their aggregates division, and as well their concrete. But But we've spent a lot of time with them, and they understand the vision, they understand the value and the potential savings, and you know, they're one of the first groups to go, we're going all in, we're rolling this out, both organizations across Ontario with the intention of going across Canada. So it's this is a big one for
huge. That's a
volume.
huge
Yeah, yeah.
They got it minute one. It's first conversation we had with them, they're like, this
Because
is
they've been
amazing.
doing it, the carbon paper.
They can save so much money.
Yeah.
Like they can take so many trucks off the road.
Yeah.
So much like carbon emissions unburned. Like, you know, that's the one thing we haven't even talked about is like, you know,
The efficiency.
when you find a
Yeah.
site that's 30% closer, which is what we're doing for people, we're finding them sites that are way closer. You know, the average load of dirt leaving Toronto had to travel like 75 kilometers. That's the average distance it has to go. That's so much diesel
That's far.
getting burned by a triaxle truck heading out of the city to Niagara Falls or wherever it's going. If we can shave 30% off of
Can you guys
every
build
truck-
that data? Can you guys develop that data on how much carbon
Yeah, so
emission
that's
that
what
you
we get-
save? You could totally do that,
sure.
right?
Oh yeah, we have
Because
we
if
have
you're
all that
moving
data.
trucks that's 25 or whatever kilometers closer,
Yeah.
and you know exactly what that fuel consumption is
it's huge.
savings wise.
So this is literally it in a nutshell. It's like
wow,
this
eh?
this is where how it works today. Or last year, 2 years ago before we started.
So the average distance
Average
was
distance
75
is
kilometers.
75 kilometers. And then based off of the data that we're seeing, we've moved 40,000 loads of dirt so far, and we've connected hundreds and hundreds of sites together already. So we know like it's minimum 30% that we're saving. Some sites it's even more. But you know, we're not even talking about backhauls yet. So that's the next version of the matching we're doing. So matching today is like, hey, you have the same amount of material as I do, same kind of material, same timeline. We're a good match, great. But as we get more users into the platform, Metcalfe's law, you know, to get super nerdy,
Yeah.
the value of a network is worth more than the sum of its users.
Yep.
We will be able to match people not just on the one trip, but the backhaul trip as well. So that's like more than 100% efficiency gain on.
So is
haul,
that something you
right?
guys discovered during the whole process? You started realizing that's where the
You
potential
got
is?
empty trucks driving down the road.
Exactly. And which made
What
no
if-
sense at that point.
Well,
What if they
not
were-
only that, but
yeah.
a lot of the excess soil leaves the city, gravel comes into the city.
Yeah.
Right? They're all going to the outskirts of the GTA. And
right.
you can't always coordinate backhauls on a project because
but even if
you
you're
need the real
coordinating
estate, right?
50% of it,
Oh, it's huge.
Even if
That's
it's
huge.
10%.
It's massive.
If you can get one of those a month, that's such an enormous
Yeah.
efficiency gain and cost reduction.
benefiting the driver, benefiting the hauler, benefiting everybody.
Everyone in Ontario.
Yeah.
And it's wear and tear on the roads. It's carbon emissions. It's noise. Like I live in Toronto. Matt lives in Toronto. You know, it's loud. The trucks are loud, man.
You love the sound of piles, huh?
You know, but like you know, it's Toronto would be a nicer place to live if there was 30% less trucks on the road.
Oh, I can think of 30% less of something.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's true though. But you know.
No, that's amazing that
So
you guys
it
are.
really
I
adds
guess the
up.
data, like that's what's
The data
growing
is
from
super
this,
valuable.
right?
Yeah, and you know the dollar savings are huge. You know, Mike could probably add some color to some of these slides.
Yeah, like obviously this is a short slide with some big numbers, but you know this is based off of 25 million cubic meters being exported out of the city on an annual basis. If you were to shave 30% of that, just that alone, you're looking at in and around $300 million. If your export, you know, is around, I think we have it at $35, which is minimal, right? We know that it's more than 25 million cubes. We know it's more like 50 million. So, you know, we're leaning up towards $600 million. And this is 30%. Like 30% is a conservative number. I know that, you know, for a fact we were talking about, Bryan was talking about, you know, exactly how you do that. You find a closer site and you save on the logistics. Obviously the trucking cost. There's a scenario about 4 months ago for somebody who had a great success story on the app. They were exporting out of Etobicoke. They were trucking to Burlington. They were going to an aggregate pit because the pit was performing rehab. And
The rehab
they're
is
moving-
filling in the pit basically with dirt, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So when after your complete mining gravel out of a specific section of a quarry, you got to slope it on a 3-to-1 bank, right? So they're importing fill to do that. They got matched on the app with a user who just put an import listing up literally 10 kilometers away. It's on the south side of the 401.
It's like
10
total
kilometers
home
away.
run.
So their export price went from $40 a cube. So like say $400 a load. Every truck they were sending cost $400. Went down to $100. So they dropped down to 25% of their costs. And I think they only caught the tail end of it, but they shipped about 750 loads. They kept a 250,000 pockets in their jeans, just like that.
I was just about to
and
say
that's in 4 days of hauling.
these savings are
big.
strong profits.
Huge.
So we send out these matching emails every morning at 7 a.m. So you create a listing right now, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You'll get an email that says, "Hey, it's Phil. Check out these matches I found for you." Our open rate on those emails, another huge KPI for app success, is over 70%. So you might literally open an email, like people are waiting at 6:59 for this email to come through, and they're opening it.
Yeah.
Because there might literally be $250,000 in that email, like for 4 days worth of of hauling.
See, that makes a lot of sense.
So people are saving and making a ton of money off these connections.
But you can't imagine it's difficult to wrap your head around. I mean, there's a construction site at every corner of the city. Everywhere you go, there's
Doesn't matter where
construction.
you
Whether
go.
it's road construction, yeah,
You'll see it.
it's everywhere, right? So
You guys are just pinning it and then connecting it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
what you guys are
it's just
doing.
efficiency gain. It's
What's this? A housing development?
yeah. So this is an amazing one. Obviously, all over the news.
yeah, housing's been a hot
Cost of
topic,
housing. Of
no
course. Yeah,
question.
we can never build fast enough. I totally get it.
For sure. And when you think about what's happened in the last, I don't want to say 3 years, probably more than 10, when was the last time you saw an initiative come out or a product come out that's going to reduce the cost of construction?
It doesn't
The last
come
3
out.
years, I mean, come on, what's happened to construction materials? Say you're building a house. Concrete's gone up, lumber's gone up, siding, your windows, all your
Everything.
plastic, mechanical, electrical, roof, like it's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And so we've run a bunch of these analysis, but just one quick one on, 100-acre development site. If you're going to put approximately 8 houses per acre on a typical earth moving scope, if you're stripping top, so you got to get rid of it. You got a cut fill to do. There's always going to be an export, and whether it's sewer spoils or whether it is you got to dig basements, obviously all the infrastructure work. We said in the event that you're building 800 houses, your export costs 30% of your export costs. Again, only 30%, which is conservative. You divide by 800, it's 10 grand a roof. It's just shy of 10 grand a roof. I mean, it's and this is not rocket science, right? It's just utilizing available technology to save money on your
And you're
trucking.
being very conservative too. at
we're
that
being
point.
very careful with these numbers.
Yeah, 100%.
But the reality is that it's greater.
It is the quickest way to lose an argument is to overstate your claim.
Yeah.
And we are really understating these numbers.
Yeah.
And there's some cases where it's way higher than 30%. And I don't care who you are, you don't know every site that needs to move dirt. Like there's someone here that are crazy. There's like ski resorts that are importing dirt. There's like a temple that's like bringing dirt. It's like these are very, very like off the beaten path sorts of listings that are moving material, and they're all in compliance. They have their paperwork listed, and they're building a brand new ski hill right next to your housing development site. How are you going to find that listing if you don't
won't.
come
You
on here?
need
It's
you
totally
need
invisible
you need the
to
app.
traditional means, right? So you come on here and we'll match you with listings like
So
that.
does it get more difficult for you guys? Because I mean, you're already at 800 and change, and then if it starts to just explode and get to thousands and tens of thousands or whatever users,
No, that's the way that it works. It's all cloud-based infrastructure. So like
it doesn't matter
we've
if
been
it's one
building it-
person or if it's 10,000 people using it. It
Exactly.
still operates the
It's all
exact
gonna
same way.
scale.
Exactly right. We built it from day one,
Knowing
to
that.
be ready for this kind of scale. Like the way that we built it is,
We-
the way Matt and I would have built an app for Home Depot.
We even put a lot of thought into making sure that like when we want to scale to other regions, other provinces, other countries, it's all ready. Like if you're in Ontario, make a listing in Ontario. It's all materials and grades of those materials that are specific to Ontario. Make a listing outside of Ontario. Right now, it's just a generic list. But when we're ready to move to that region, we can customize that list to the regulations, the materials in that region that all make sense. And we don't have to even make an app update to do
That's
that.
right.
We just in our backend, we type in some new materials, new things, and just push it. It's
So
ready to go.
if you're on the West Coast and you're listening to this or watching, and you want to create a listing, you can do it. So you create a listing, and then our server will say, location equals, Vancouver. And then it will pull any logic that we have around what materials, and
In that area.
and local regulations, and then it will adjust the app automatically.
What's your radius if someone is the first one adopting it in their city?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty lonely out there right
Yeah,
now
at
because we
first.
haven't launched. We're starting with the GTA because it's the most challenging from a regulatory perspective.
Yeah.
But, we have plans to launch on the West Coast. So, yeah, if anyone likes what they see and they want to be part of our launch strategy out there, then we would absolutely love to hear from you.
This is brilliant, guys.
We need help, by the way. Like, that's one of the things. Like, we have a small team, and but we don't have any investors. We're totally bootstrapped. We've been living off our
Nobody's
our
coming
savings
after you
accounts
guys.
for the
Like,
last.
I just assumed
Yeah,
that
we've
there
had a lot
would
of
be
people
some
talk-
VCs coming,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
they're looking at this going,
For sure.
no brainer, right?
So that was the mistake I made with my previous app, was having too many hands in the cookie jar, talking
Chefs,
to
yeah.
VCs. As the designer, my job was like creating investor updates every month or 2
those are
weeks,
fun.
right? Yeah, it's terrible, right? And everyone's thinks that they know what they should be doing. Like, we know what to do. We wanted to keep it, as focused, and we wanted to bootstrap as much as possible. But we're definitely always open to talk to people, and we know that in order to launch in these other markets, like, we're going to need some boots on the ground for sure.
Yeah, what's amazing though is like the core members, like us 3 founding members, we all have completely different skill sets, but they are the core skill sets to build what we have already built.
yeah,
right?
what you need.
The business side of it, the design side of it, and the tech side of it, right? So it's just like, we don't need to grab investors to be like, oh, we need money to hire a development team. We already have that, right? So it's pretty cool.
The way a lot of guys build apps is they just they're the business person or whoever, and they raise a couple $100,000.
Yeah,
they think that's enough money, and then they farm the whole thing out to India. We're because that's like where most people are getting.
Yeah, I get the emails every day.
developed. Yeah, for sure.
I know.
Yeah, no, there's just tons of developers there that are
Yeah.
working for cheap, and that's not. We own all of our code.
Yeah, I love that you guys, it's basically you're in your own backyard.
We have this
have
enormous
seen it.
speed advantage
Yes.
because you could give us an amazing idea. Already given us things to think about, but we're meeting with a construction company today, and they give us a great idea. We can go and we can jump right into the code. We can make edits, and we can push a new version of the app in by the end within 2 weeks, right? So our other competitors who have little control over their actual code, it takes them a really long time to make those. They can't be as flexible or
There's
as
a bunch
fast
of people that they're working
and let's
with.
face it, like, I'm a designer, right? Like,
So you get
most
it.
people don't co-found a company with designers. They think that they can do the design work themselves, or they hire it out. They hire an agency.
Well, see, that's the smart thing is that there's the two marriages here. Like there's
sure.
the construction side and the tech side, right?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of tech-based construction entities are doing that.
They're definitely not. They
They don't get the boots on the ground. No, they're not. They're not putting the two together. Obviously, if you had a question, he had an answer, and vice versa.
For sure.
So
Between
that's
the
why
three
it
of us,
works really
we can solve any problem with the
Yeah.
company with the three of us.
It was actually pretty cool in the beginning. We haven't done it in a little while now, but Mike was actually taking us around to construction sites.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want you to see exactly like
So you guys bought your first safety boots? And
We're the guys with price tags on our gear walking around site. 100%. Yeah,
brand new-
absolutely.
Does the foam
brand
stay
new
inside the boot?
vests.
What's going on here?
I got my brand new Carhartt on. Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
No, but that was
but
great that you did that
That's
because
how
they
you-
got it. Yeah, and you guys probably
Definitely.
absorbed it right away.
That's how you get the real experience.
But as
Totally.
a
Get out
designer,
there
you have
and talk
to see
the
it,
guys
right?
too.
Yeah.
You can't be sitting in a design studio, in an ivory tower and being like, I'll tell you how to use this app. It's like, no, dude, you have to talk to people every day. You have to do the support phone calls. You have to, it's called dog fooding in the industry, right?
How did the drivers take it?
Like when
Did they get it?
You had this
Yeah.
amazing story when, I don't know if it was Lyft or Uber, but when Uber came out, Matt signed up for Uber as a driver and drove around to Uber to see how it worked.
And
When it first
I
launched,
didn't
came out.
necessarily need extra money, but I was super curious how the
you were
backside
curious
of this
how it's
worked.
going to work.
Yeah. I was like,
Dude,
well, how's this? Like, obviously,
amazing.
I'm comfortable with the driver, the passenger side, but I wanted to see the whole driver side. What's the experience? How did
Yeah.
they match up, and how's
It's
the
crazy.
technology on the back end work? So it was a very cool learning experience.
But that was in the news. I think it was the CEO of Lyft. He had a mandate at the company. He said all my developers need to deliver one meal a month or something, and there was
kinda
huge
makes-
backlash, and they're like,
makes sense.
we're not delivery people, we're not. It's like, it's not about that. It's about, you have to be connected. This is so. You remember you got movie tickets all over here. Office Space, one of my
Yeah.
favorite Mike Judge movies.
Yeah.
He leaves his Silicon Valley job to work in construction. That's me. That's what Matt and I should be in Silicon Valley. But like, there's so many things about the tech world that really bother me. And that's one of them, is they're so disconnected from like the average person, right? And the distance is really getting further and further apart. And that's something that I think is this huge barrier to getting into industries like this. Because I tell people that I worked on before, I'm making a construction focused app, Contech, which is like the term for it, right?
Okay.
And like, people have a really bad attitude about that. I'm like, no, this is like a virgin market. There's tons of opportunity as a designer, as a business person here, and but it's difficult. It's I'm seeing so much personal enjoyment from solving real problems in this industry, and this was an amazing decision for me.
But we see the same thing on
to
our
sort of-
side.
But it required separation from me and the tech community to get here, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of left.
And I really want the
ivory
tech
tower.
community to come into the construction industry, right?
sure.
Because we need it, desperately need it,
Absolutely.
right? But we need the right ones. That's the problem. Is I think that there's a lot of tech coming in that's taking advantage,
For sure.
which they shouldn't be, right? So
No, and it's not just for me an opportunity to have a successful business, to be profitable. It is about, I really do care about the environment.
you guys are getting a kick out of the growth, like
I actually
the
do care.
efficiency
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah,
You're
for
getting
sure.
a total kick out of
It's
it.
the network effect that's
Yes.
amazing, right? So when Dufferin starts using it and all of their subs start using it, in like 12 days is their kickoff with them, it's going to be this huge ripple effect of adoption. And then the network and the listings are going to become so much more valuable. This is a good slide we have up here. Again, this is only built based off of the 25 million cube estimate that our government has, which is, again, they have no idea.
Out to lunch.
Ontario literally has no idea how much
Yeah,
dirt
out
moves
to
in the
lunch,
province. The
100 million liters.
yeah, it's so much unburned fuel and so much CO2 that, and we have this thing where it's like, this is it. The title of this slide is literally an oversimplified diagram. And we have environmental regulations of sustainability and saving money, and usually never the two shall meet, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Ontario and regulators, they don't understand, they don't care if you're saving money. All they care about is we have these regulations that you need to comply to, and if you don't comply to these regulations, you better look out. That's
But
literally
this is
it. It's
complying
like they're
well
putting a gun at
beyond
you.
what you're supposed to be
And
doing.
we're saying, hey, instead of enforcement, how about incentives?
Assist- yeah.
Good incentives.
Yeah.
That's literally but they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to create
government.
They don't know how to do an incentive shift instead of pointing a gun at somebody and being like, you better do your dirt taxes or else. Like this. So this is what I think we've got here is like this really happy medium where you come to the platform, you're immediately saving money and getting tons of value, and you're just sort of doing good compliance.
I believe they call it a win-win.
It's a win-win.
That's really simple.
Yeah, but then it just like, I don't. Yeah, I mean,
So the industry's been embracing this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's been really. They get it. They understand it.
absolutely. We have some other cool stuff we can show here too. This is really what it is, right? It's like you're saving or earning money. It's automatic compliance, so just fill it out, and your dirt taxes are getting done. And if someone
Cheaper than the old system.
and it's cheaper than the old systems, it's cheaper than paper. Like,
It's
what do you
so
want
true
to,
that They still make.
Yeah.
They still make the. I'm sure you've probably seen it. That plastic kind of housing for the carbon prints. Like.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like, do they still
100%.
like that clipboard kind of
Yeah,
thing?
those are the cat's ass, man. For sure, they're common.
That reminds me of being a kid. The
But the
old
thing is,
Shug
they
credit card
they still have
machines.
like
Yeah,
the plastic edging from the baking going to like it's got that edge on it where they probably cut their hands or something on
Totally.
it.
Yeah,
Like, but it's brand new. It was just made last week. It's 2023, man.
Amazing.
Like you
That's
can't
pretty
use
good.
this stuff anymore. I
So
love that you guys just print it right off.
Oh yeah,
Send
Yeah,
it right
no
off.
paper. Yeah.
No paper. You just
you can
send
still
it
you
electronically.
can print it if you have to get a wet signature. We will let you print it, but most people don't. So we're like I said, we're releasing new stuff all the time. New stuff so this is hall sharing, like we said.
Yeah.
You can invite anyone you want to have visibility or edit access to your hall. free, included with the 50-cent charge per truck for load tracking.
So again, go on the App Store and it's just Get Phil app, right?
Just search Phil,
Phil, and you'll
Phil.
find
If you're
it.
on an iPhone, you have to search Phil, Phil, and you have to press search for some reason. I don't know why it doesn't just show up. On Android, you just type
Apple.
Phil and then it shows up. I don't know why. Yeah.
But you'll find it.
Yeah, or go to the website getphil.app,
Yep.
Phil.
And you guys have
And
right there.
it's a web app. It's a universal app. We use this platform called Flutter.
You said you weren't going to get techie.
I know I'm not gonna do that. But
No,
I
go ahead.
actually think that we are one of the first
Yeah, for sure.
big apps that uses this brand new app development platform. Google hasn't even finished rolling out their own apps in this language that they developed.
It's called
It's called Flutter. Google, Flutter. I've been trying to reach your devs, your developer support guys, so many times, and no one will return my tweets or emails. Like, hit us up.
Are they
please.
listening right now?
No, I don't know. I told you the tech
They probably
community, man,
are.
they're like construction.
In
don't care
short,
about that.
it's a major efficiency win for all development teams. We write the code once, and we're like, oh, all right, make it an Android app, make it an iOS app, make it a website.
Yeah.
And normally you would have 3 teams of developers, one to build Android, one to build iOS, one to build a web. But we just build it once, and we can deploy it however we want.
And that's
So we have like a 3-year platform advantage over all of our competitors.
And
Because they all have separate teams for each of their properties, right? Each of their
It's
app
getting
properties.
bigger. Like this technology, it's getting wider. But we saw this very early, and we're like, we're gonna build Phil
An
with
early
that.
bet.
Like, let's take a bet on this, and it was a good bet.
Yeah,
So
for sure. So this is, and because of that, we can build cool stuff all the time, right? And we don't have to worry about like, you know what? Let's not build that thing because we have to build it 3 times for each of the platforms. So the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
that's
But
why you said we're releasing every 2 weeks. That's
Yeah.
not super common. Maybe once a month is like more common because you need time to like test every single app, fix all the bugs in every single app. But
Yeah.
we're just doing it one time, so it's efficiency.
It's almost like you guys came out of the gate strong.
this was a huge win for sure.
Right, just
And there are other competing platforms like React that we decided we weren't going to build it in. So if anyone else there is like, oh, but what about React? Well, React doesn't give you good web apps either. So like we're getting a great web app. We could do a progressive web app if we want. We're doing iPhone. We're doing Android. We could do Windows or Mac OS or whatever native app we want to do. So it's a huge win.
I didn't
But-
understand a word.
I know.
I know. We got
I'll
super
stop, I'll
nerdy.
stop,
We
I'll
said we
stop.
wouldn't, but
Totally
that's
did not
stop.
understand a word. React and Flutter. I don't get any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you
speaking
guys are
about nerdy,
basically behind the curtain, figuring out things and making the app that much
we're
easier.
the first
for us.
people to do it.
Wow.
In this way, and the mapping software that we're using, I think we still maintain the code base, like the plugin for that mapping software.
Are the
So
stickers for the drivers so they can slap it on their trucks? And
they
then
can.
Well,
Yeah.
you were
Phil's,
just
on,
about-
that's
Phil's
what
on
this is.
duty.
Yeah, you
Phil's
were just
on.
about to talk about something.
Yeah,
These are the stickers that are going to be slapped on the truck. So we have a amazing haulage partner who's going to be guinea pigging this for us next month.
Did they first look at that and go, I can't read that?
Yeah. So today, when you send a truck, you have to have a haulage roster in the app.
Yep.
So you have to record all of your trucks, all of your drivers, their MOE number. Like there's a bunch of different data
Everything.
points that you have to
Yeah.
legally capture for compliance. And it can take some time. So it takes about 10 seconds to send your first truck, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Or what people do is they go into their settings and and they'll enter all of their trucks as a big haulage roster like the day before they start sending trucks for the first time. So we were like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And we've been talking to some people who gave us, pushed us towards this idea. So we've made a QR code system that you slap on your truck. It's actually smaller than this. It's only 6 by 6 inches. So this is kind of like just a
Noticeable.
large
But you know what's going to
mock-up.
happen now, right?
It's going to be smaller.
I'm going to be driving around and I'm going to notice it now.
sure you will.
It's in my head now.
sure
I'm
you
going to
will.
be seeing that QR
So you
code.
can hide it anywhere in the truck. You can put it on a clipboard and hang it out the window if you want. You can do whatever. The
Put
point
it
is
on the mud flap with the ladies on it.
So, so it's funny you say that because I was going to do a chrome mud flap of Phil, like the overweight guy, like instead of the hot.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
And
I like
then the
that.
other option was actually a Garfield, like the suction
Yeah,
cup
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So we were going to do a plushie with Phil.
I like that too.
But those are so expensive. Anyways, this is like a $1 QR code. So now, any truck that's got these codes on them, you can send or receive the truck by just scanning the code. So
Brilliant,
and then
man.
you go from having every company has their own address book of trucks, which is like, okay, anyone at Dufferin, can
You can QR code
can,
every
has the access to
vehicle.
that address book.
Yeah.
But if you go to the haulage companies and you tag all of the trucks, you give them ownership. They're maintaining the address book, and then all you have to do is just scan the code, and it's done, right? So we got new drivers. You got anything changes on the truck, they keep it updated, and then it's all accurate for them, right? So.
And see this, like the trucking companies, the brokers, they're incentivized to jump on board with this.
Of course.
Because they need to have their bill of ladings. They're supposed to anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's not going to be any easier process than this. All they have to do is have a link to in a text message. They don't have to do anything with it, but as long as they're updating their roster, they slap a sticker somewhere, like from a liability standpoint, they're covered.
Everything's
Easy.
done.
Done.
And it's a lot faster than a phone call to yell at the driver.
Yeah.
And
Like it's simpler, right?
this is a sticker solution where people are out there putting in $1,000, $10,000 GPS systems into their trucks as well, right? This is like a way cheaper alternative, right? Like, oh, you hit it with the pressure washer when you're cleaning your truck. Okay, just slap a new one over it. You get a pile of 500. It's easy, right? So this is another one too. Since we're talking about cool upcoming
Affiliate
stuff,
programs? Okay.
affiliates. So right now, not everyone uploads a soil report. Maybe they say they're getting it. They're not in good compliance. Maybe they need help getting into good compliance. What do we do with that information? If we know someone is missing something from their listing, we can do stuff like this. We can say, do you want us to help you find a local expert?
And your code does that for them.
Yeah.
Easily.
So we can say, oh, you don't have testing? Do you want help finding testing? And then we can have a huge database of all local engineering firms, haulage companies, disposal, like any facility, really equipment rentals. And then, we can connect people locally to experts,
and
right?
that's why it's obviously important to gain the market share on the marketplace. Once the market is, or even a good chunk of it, then options like this, to be driving business to the appropriate people, like it's huge. It's endless, right?
Yeah.
And there's a need for it big time.
It's a huge big time. But
Yeah.
you guys also went into the market knowing that there was already some people trying to play in the sandbox, but they weren't playing right.
They're gone now for the most part. There's
Really,
no more
huh?
marketplaces. There's really only the other marketplace that's in the West Coast, and there's another one in the States. But I mean, just look at the two of them next to each other and tell me
There's
which one
a
you like
big
better.
difference between like
Doesn't make any
websites and apps, right? Like there's
Yeah.
a huge
Yes.
difference. Like they're not.
We have a
it's
platform.
apples
But
and
it's the
oranges.
connectivity to the industry that you guys
Right.
are basically perfected, made sense, and understood, right? That you got. That's how you. I've always said it regarding social media and construction. Don't sell it to us like it's Britney Spears. You know what I mean? It ain't pop culture, social media.
right.
We do not listen to you guys. We
Yeah.
will not listen to you guys.
Yep.
But you guys are speaking our language.
And it
so
is
we're
a
listening.
multi-app world.
Yeah.
Right? So like it or not, there's a couple other tracking apps that are out there. You're going to have to juggle, right? I'm on Android, Mike's on iPhone. The better example is like Zoom, right? Zoom only does video calls, right? It's a one-app pony. We are Teams or Google. When you use this suite of tools, everything works better. All of your documents are connected to it. So we have this like suite approach, the hub and spoke model. All of this value just spills out from the marketplace, right? That powers everything else.
I love
And
it.
it lets us, because the marketplace is so valuable, all of our other stuff is cheap because we make all of our money from the marketplace. So it's like we don't care about only 50 cents a load for load tracking, right?
Time to sign up for Phil, the free construction marketplace and load tracking app for developers, engineers, and all contractors working in the civil construction industry. One other thing to mention is business and facility listings. Phil has the most complete database of quarries, pits, plants, and depots in Ontario, including all of the big names. So if you're looking for concrete, stone, asphalt, whatever, you'll be able to find it. You can also add your business listing or claim it. It might already be on the map. Sign up for free on the website at www.getphil.app. That's www.getphil.app. You can also search Phil in the App Store. Do you guys want to share anything that's coming down the pipe, or keeping it for now until it actually comes out of the pipe?
This is a huge one, what we're sharing
yeah,
right
that's what I
now.
figured,
So
yeah.
we will be putting out a call for submissions. So if you work for an engineering firm in an area, like we want to talk to you, we're basically going to allow people to book or like block off postal codes in Ontario. So if someone in Welland, Ontario is looking for local engineering services, you know, and they say, yep, connect me, we'll show the top 5 in that region. Right?
And it's not just engineers, it's haulage as well. You know,
exactly.
when people
Everybody.
create a listing, they check off a box whether or not they can provide haulage. So we could have haulage affiliates as well. So I need haulage, so we'll show you some options.
But I definitely want to encourage anybody who's listening, because we have a lot of people across Canada, especially out west in Vancouver, reach out to you guys and start the ball rolling.
If
That would be
everyone,
amazing.
if everyone who's listening to this could make one listing, all of Canada,
I know
would
Vancouver
probably
will
be
start-
captured
yeah.
based on how
Yeah.
many viewers and listeners I've seen.
Yeah,
on your
I
social
mean, like the
media.
people are going to reach out, they're going to start talking to you. But I mean, everybody right now in construction is planning for 2024. So if they got projects coming down the pipe and things are happening, and they know that this has to benefit them,
we didn't even talk about
profit-wise,
that.
Profit wise, that's the key.
That's
right?
one of the craziest things.
you can
actually.
still
What it's
price
all
the way
about.
you're going to price it
Yeah.
and make more money because you're saving on this one line item.
We've talked.
Exactly.
We laugh about it all the time. The number one feature that we built is the calendar picker on the listing create, because normally, you know, I've seen the emails. So like people will forward me emails, and it's like forward, looking for soil. Oh my, in Aurelia, like, oh my God, we need so much dirt right now, and it's like you could go back in time a year, and you could create a listing on our marketplace for 1 year from now, and you could say, yeah, we need 50,000 loads of soil in Aurelia, and then you could have that all spoken for a year in advance, right? That's really the biggest thing, is like
That's projected
it doesn't-
profit.
It doesn't have to be a knife fight every single time. It doesn't have to be running around screaming. You can come and you can sign up for free. It will cost you nothing. In the next 5 minutes, download the app, create an account, invite your employees, put your listings in. It's totally free. You know, you can make them private as well. We didn't even talk about that. You can create private listings.
Yeah, you mentioned that. But
So when
how,
you look
how
at the,
quick can the contractor with 10 thumbs set up his
Yeah,
account?
10
How
minutes.
fast? 10 minutes,
10
right?
Not even. Yeah.
Not even?
Not even.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you could send your first truck in 10 minutes. If you are working with someone who's sending their loads with fill, and it shows up and the driver says, "Hey, I'm here," and you're like, "I have no idea what fill is," you can sign up and,
Right then
and
and
create an
there.
account
Yeah.
and receive or send a truck in 10 minutes. So there's no contact the sales team to get started. There's none of that, right? So it's super easy.
I know, so you mentioned like less than 5 minutes or something like that.
5
And
minutes.
you can get moving at that point.
For free. And when you sign up for our load tracking, it's free for 14 days as well. So
Just to get started?
you can move.
Is that an app
millions-
thing, guys? Like everybody's kind of doing that for 2 weeks. It's just
We know that we have to offer something in order for people to like get
Save
it.
it- saving
They have
money not
they have-
enough?
I know, but we're probably doing too much. But you have to kind of live with it for like a week, and then you're like, okay, I totally get it. No more tickets, right? It's a new way of thinking about it. But you can move a lot of dirt in 2 weeks. So like sign up 14 days totally free, but I just went back to the map here. So like this is how we started, was zooming out. There's probably the same amount of listings that are private on the map. So when you create a listing, there's a checkbox that says,
so we're not even seeing. Okay.
yeah, you're not even seeing all of them.
And so this is typically like companies wanting to get the full picture of all the sites that their company has. Typically, they love to do internal hauls because, you know, shipping dirt between your own sites is a lot cheaper than shipping to a third party.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And if you ship from your site to your site, it's only 50 cents. We don't charge both ends of that transaction as well. Worth mentioning.
cheap,
But so if you look at the map and you're like, oh, I live in, you know, Wasaga Beach and I don't see any listings in the area, might not be true. There's probably private listings within 10, 20 kilometers that you just can't see. So if you create your listing, they will receive you as a match, but not vice versa, if that makes sense. So yeah, you know, you're not being the best player in the marketplace by creating private listings. Everyone has their own reasons for doing it. But
So it's construction.
But like we're just happy that they're in there and they're
Yeah.
putting their listings in. And then, you know, we see a lot of listings get flipped from private to public. And it is actually, since we're talking about privacy, like privacy is something we're obviously all about. Like the way that we've built it, you know, the data is anonymized. It's all protected on the servers. It's all in Canadian servers. So like your data doesn't leave the country. This is something like we built this the same way you would build any, top tier.
So there's no
from a
concerns at that point.
from a
Yeah.
data privacy
for sure.
perspective. So yeah, it's something we take super seriously.
I think this is great, guys. This is amazing. I mean, just everybody, again, they can go to the website, they go
Yep.
right to the app from there, or they can go to the App Store and go right there. So
This is one other thing, and then I'll stop. But
Sure.
this is one. So because we know the price of all the materials in the region, we can tell you what you should be charging, right? So if we see a lot of listings go up for like $0, right? So
Okay.
people will, so people won't actually list a price on their listings. We already know what that material is worth in that region, so we can show it in the app. So if you're going to create a listing and you put your tipping fee as $100, we can say, actually, average price for this region where you're creating this listing is $122. So we could be getting you an extra $20 per truck times thousands of loads. Like,
you guys
little,
will automatically
little
do that.
helpful selection.
You'll make that recommendation automatically.
Exactly.
That's right. We'll make sure that you're getting the top price all the time.
Yeah, and it works in the opposite direction as well. You might be charging too much, and you might be wondering why you're not getting any hits.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know, one thing that's funny about, you know, the dirt market specifically, Manny, you said earlier about posting, you know, sites well in advance of when they're actually taking place. You're essentially, you could be projecting profits or projecting transactions. You know, the dirt world is one of the very few industries or pieces of an industry where guys are bidding blind.
Yeah.
I
Right?
agree.
Like, you know, you're bidding a 42 cube export or maybe 38. And then as soon as you get the job, then you're going to race around and try and find a site to take it to.
Yep.
Like they're putting a lot on the line to be able to do it because, you know, the market intel doesn't exist. And right now, it's very interesting. Toronto's first time I've ever seen it. First time in the last 10, 12 years. Like there's a huge deficit of fill. Everybody needs fill. There's not enough being generated. That's never been the case. It's always been 100% polar opposite.
Yeah.
Right now, what's happening is it's a very, very interesting trend. And, you know, a lot are aware, but a lot aren't aware, and they're overpaying big time right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
What you guys have created, man.
Yeah.
I totally love what you guys have created. It makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I
So
think-
everything's all rolling out. Everyone's going to be like, once we post this, everyone shares it, and you guys might be at the Heavy Machinery show again, and just talking to those
Yep.
guys as well too. So
Yeah, we'll definitely be there.
yeah,
Always.
2024, everybody will start making a lot of noise, right?
Yes. One thing you should do is you should definitely follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. It's Get Phil. No, what is it again? The IG.
Get.phil.
Get.Phil. That's what it was.
I believe. Let me just double check.
I got it in the show notes. I totally have it in
Okay,
the show
cool.
notes.
It's
Yeah.
in the show notes. Please follow us on Instagram. The reason you're going to want to follow us on Instagram, though, is, like I said, our matching emails go out at 7 a.m. every day. But as soon as big new listings get posted on, we post them to Instagram. So you might get a 24-hour heads up on really good listings.
That's smart.
So if you're not following us on Instagram, you're not going to see, like, everyone who is going to see it a day before you. And these could be like 10,000 load listings, like really spicy listings.
Any worth to be on TikTok?
We're not on TikTok.
The only reason I bring it up
Matt is a good dancer, though.
I'm just saying.
I can
it's
play
just-
guitar.
A lot of contractors are making that shift as they get older. They're moving from IG to TT, right? That's the only reason I'm bringing it up, because I am seeing more engagement going on with the
should think about it.
35, 40 and
Interesting.
older
That's
are going over
That's
there
our
for
target,
somewhere to
too.
reason, right? It's weird. It's just
Yep.
weird, but it's something to consider. But it's a whole other world at that point, right?
Yep.
Yeah, smart.
So yeah, please follow us on Instagram. You can go, if you don't want to install the app, you can just use it on our.
But at least
our
go to the website and just check it out and see what's going on.
Sure, or install the app on your phone. And
Yeah.
the reason you want to use the app on your phone is you get like chat notifications. So if you're chatting with other users, it acts like a chat app, so you don't have to like go back to your
Something
computer
old
to
school,
talk
like
to somebody.
Smoking the Bandit CB radio kind of thing going on.
Well, some guys have work phones and they can't install apps, so we knew that it was important that it should work on the web as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just use it on your web browser on your phone too, or your desktop. But yeah, that would honestly, like, it would mean a lot. Download it.
No, that's
like
what's going to happen. It's totally going to happen. I see it happening.
It's been
right?
so much work. So
again, the website is. I just want to share it, and then I want to ask you guys the 10 questions of construction. If you guys don't mind, we'll just batter through them. And
Okay,
just,
yeah, sure.
Don't worry, there's no right or wrong. They're simple questions, but again, yes, www.get
GETPHIL.app.
Yeah.
So Phil with a P and then .app, not .com.
And you'll find it there. You guys ready for this? I'll go one by one. Start with Mike there.
These are construction questions?
Yes and no.
I was going to say, please ask Mike all of them.
What everyday sound brings you joy?
Diesel engine running, 100%.
That's a great answer.
Oh, same question. I'm gonna be sappy my kids.
I was going to say, yeah, my kids laughing is always awesome.
What's your favorite beverage?
Coors Light.
We even crack the beers.
Yeah. Should grab them.
I'm weird. I like kombucha.
Yeah, I like a margarita, like a really strong margarita.
Least favorite tool?
Least favorite
Least
tool?
Doesn't have to be a tool. It could be a tool in a variety
My
of
table
ways.
saw, for sure.
Okay.
Every time I use the table saw, I'm like, this thing is going to take one of my fingers off at some point.
That's a jigsaw. Jigsaws I find will chop your finger off real
Really?
quick.
Skill saw. I'd go table saw.
You guys are all staying away from blades, huh?
Table saw every time.
What turns you guys on creatively? I think you talked a little bit about it here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, I do it I try to create this moment all the time. I know it's supposed to be a short answer.
No, that's fine.
Like literally I'll be walking down the street and there'll be guys digging out a water main and I'll show them the app and to see someone's face and they'll go, I'll say, I made an app for you. What do you think of this? It doesn't cost anything. Like I'm not like use it or don't use it. And they'll look at it and be like, this is amazing. Someone made an app for me. Like that is like the best feeling in the world.
You see the expression on their face.
I was at a holiday party last year, and I was telling a guy what I did, and he said, "You mean this app?" And he pulled it out, and he had our app on his phone. The first time that happened, I was like, "You're the first guy
to turn it around.
This
on
has
me.
happened to." And he's like, "You already had it." He saw an influencer had messaged about it. I'm like, "That's like the greatest feeling in the world as a designer."
Funny.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, just hearing like people's success stories with our app makes me want to go get back on my computer, start writing more code.
I'd have to agree. I mean, the feedback thus far has been pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of like shocked users.
I totally believe it.
Industry.
I totally believe it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
What word or concept do you guys find overused these days? You guys are in tech world, we're in construction world.
I mean, that's a good question. Can you come back to me? I gotta think about it for a sec.
There's so many tech terms that are.
That's what I figured.
AI is overused for sure.
Yep.
There's only
people don't really understand what the word AI actually
There's 24
means.
other letters we can
For
use,
sure.
man.
It's definitely overused. Because every other, this is one of the annoying things about the startup world is like everyone's like, oh, we have a AI powered, spell checker or something, or like some
Everything
thing
starts
they
with
just
an
slap
AI.
AI onto it.
AI.
ChatGPT is amazing though.
I don't know. That's
Nothing overused.
no, you got me there.
What's your favorite curse word, gentlemen?
We can curse. We could have cursed this whole time.
Totally, we can curse. Have you not listened to this show before?
I could've-
Once when I get an Irishman
made
on
it
here,
so
the whole
easy.
C word comes out
Welsh,
every
it's pretty
second
close.
word, right?
Yeah, fuck is the best.
The good
curse
old
for sure.
go-to,
Yeah,
yeah.
good old-
I actually don't curse a lot. Like even when I'm by myself and I hit my toe on something, I just say fudgesicles. Like it's I don't know. I'm a little bit weird. Like
We're
I
cutting
can
them out of this
curse,
share.
but-
Yeah.
Fudgesicles.
Come on.
All right.
Must be a tech guy. Yeah, the F bomb comes
The
out
F-bomb is
every
what it's
time.
got to be.
Yeah.
Favorite vehicle in the entire world? Any mode of transportation?
I pre-ordered a Cybertruck and I cannot wait to get it. I truly can't wait. It's so. The best part is my wife hates it.
Can't sell it for a year, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, is that right?
$50,000 fine.
He just implemented that. You can't sell it. You get a $50,000 fine if you try to sell it within a year.
You're a movie guy. One of the most famous movie cars ever is the DeLorean.
Sure, and I
such a
hate the
cool-
new one that they came out with, but it makes no
Yeah.
sense. I just don't like the Cybertruck for the purpose of it's not a practical construction vehicle.
No, for sure. It
It will never
Yeah.
survive a Canadian winter in Saskatchewan on a
yeah.
job site.
True.
It will never. That's my opinion.
No, totally. But for me, I
Looks
don't-
cool. It looks tough.
For sure. For me, it's perfect. It's like I can, once in a while throw
That could
some
be
drywall
Phil's
on the
ride.
back of it.
That could
For
totally
sure.
be Phil's ride.
For sure.
Matt?
I before the wife and kids, I rode motorcycles all the time. So did Bryan actually.
Wait, what are we talking about? American, Japanese, or European? British.
At Triumph Bonneville.
Tron
That was
it.
a sick bike.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it was a Honda like touring bike. So
With the stereo?
no, more like an
Goldwing?
no, more like an
The
adventure.
guy with no gloves on a Goldwing?
Like an adventure bike. Like I used to do trips all over Canada. Just
And you had
pack up a
kids, huh?
tent
And
and
the
go,
minivan
yeah.
came.
Yeah, threw a dent in it.
Mike used to do a dirt bike like crazy too.
Yeah,
competitively, right?
I raced motocross for a long time, but favorite vehicle for me, hands down, Skidoo. Die hard sledder. It's a short season. It goes hand in hand with construction.
It's true.
That's something that I'll never
Yeah.
be able to let go of.
Mike's getting me into it.
What do you guys
Yeah.
miss from your childhood?
Racing motocross.
my childhood.
Fudgesicles?
That'd be amazing.
I never should have said
Was it
that.
rocket? Was
These
it
two are gonna
rocket ones?
tease
You
me.
gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta
that's
cut that out. That's crazy. You're gonna damage our business with that answer.
That's funny.
I don't know.
Nothing from your childhood?
I miss not getting envelopes from the CRA. You know, the brown envelopes in the mail. You never had to deal with that as a kid. You know that, or you're saying something that I missed.
No,
from
no, no,
childhood.
no. That makes a lot of
Like the
sense because
scary
we never
envelope.
got those as kids.
No, like
we
my
never
parents
got them.
didn't expose me
it's
to that.
true, yeah.
Every time I'm like, oh, brown envelope. As soon as I go in the house, I'm like, everyone wants their piece.
I miss the lack of responsibility, just in general.
Yeah, carefree, no CRA. Yeah, that would be.
It's too bad we can't be like that as adults, right? If you guys can master something else outside of your own expertise, what would it be? What do you guys want to try?
I really want to get into knife making, like making
Blacksmith?
like pocket knives and stuff. Yeah, because Matt's into 3D printing. I'm into 3D printing, and I think there's some.
Oh, I had a picture of actually ironworking and
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
the merge of those, like someone who's like knows about 3D printing and knife making, you can make some really cool 3D printed knives, like out of titanium and stuff, like impossible shapes that you would never be able to make.
That's true. That's interesting. Nobody's done that.
There's a lot of like motorcycle part guys that like used to be aerospace that are 3D printing bike parts, and they're like the craziest bike parts you've ever seen. So I think, yeah, this is a long answer, but knife making.
I feel like it's a common answer for a lot of programmers. I'd love to get into building video games. I feel like most programmers get into development because of video games. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to build video games, figure out how this works. They realize video games don't make a lot of money, and they're like, let's build some apps instead.
It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
Mike?
I don't know. I'd say there's quite a few, but I mean, outside of work, I like driving vehicles. Like to drive everything. One thing I have thought about, but I've yet to really explore, is a pilot's license. Be really into that. Something that I like.
We had a drywaller on you. He did it over the pandemic.
Come on, is that right?
He's
Super cool.
one away
That's
from
smart.
commercial.
It's amazing.
He took me up.
No,
Let me fly.
Come on.
We went from Toronto to Hamilton like in 30 minutes or something like that.
So cool.
I have the book.
He's like,
feel
you
like
want to
that's
land?
like-
I was like, what are you, crazy? I'm not landing. No, I'll fly it, but I'm not landing.
I ordered the books, but I haven't even opened them yet.
No, he actually did. He always wanted to do it, but then he found out how little the Canadian pilots make. So he's like, I'm going to stay drywalling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you guys like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Good question. Being that I was a good man, I think. Yeah,
It's good.
See, that's sappy.
yeah, it's true though.
See,
It works, gets you in.
You really kicked ass with that fill out. Way to go.
Yeah. Shaved 30% off all the.
You moved a lot of
Carbon
my
emissions.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love for him to say something like, oh, you finally made it, like, and then, like, heaven is so much cooler than that previous thing you just did. That was just the waiting room. Now the real stuff begins.
That's funny.
Mike?
Yeah, no, the fill up comment.
That was okay.
I'd
there.
stick with that one.
Okay, that's cool. That's good, gentlemen. Absolute pleasure having you on the
Awesome.
show.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. I really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
Good to
having
meet
us.
you guys
Yeah,
and get to know a huge success. I totally see this exploding. Everyone's gonna
Thank you very
love
much.
it. They're
That
gonna
means a
use
lot.
it.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff is super valuable for us.
I'm very cautious about tech and construction. Like, it's really got to help the industry, and this is definitely going to help the
That's
industry,
awesome.
right? So,
Thank you.
Cool. Appreciate that.
So that's it. Thank you very much, guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
We're out of here,
Thank you.
Angelina.